welcome to another exciting episode of It's Those Guys Game Reviews. I am Nick Silviano.
They know your name by now. They know my name too, so it's right there.
Well, this could be a first-time viewing kind of thing. You know, a lot of people like see your videos, whatever.
No one watches your videos.
People do! I have like 4 or 5 people who like them, okay? Thank you. And they're our videos. Okay? We did this together.
Shall set me free! Okay.
So today's game reviewing is The Last Story, which is quite possibly the last Wii game.
Wascally Wabbits.
Quite possibly the last Wii game for the Wii. Actually, I think there's like one more coming out, like the Kirby collection or whatever. Developed by Hironobu Sakaguchi. You might know him as the guy who created the Final Fantasy series. You know, when it was good. The Last Story is the latest game to come out from the Nintendo Wii. If you're in America. Yes, this game has been out in Japan and Europe for nearly 2 years now, but we finally got it over here. And it's about damn time. The game's story follows a group of mercenaries who have made their way to Lazarus Island after doing a job they were hired for.
Oh my god, she's almost topless! This really is a JRPG! What?
Along the way, they come across some ruins, and after one of Zell's comrades falls in battle, he inadvertently summons the power of the Outsider, who appears to help him out.
This leads to a new mechanic in the battle system, in which Zale can use the power of the Outsider to have the enemies focus on him, while his other teammates can cast their magic spells without much interruption. It also gives the added benefit of slowing the enemies down for a time, as well as resurrect any fallen teammates.
Along the way, Zale runs into a mysterious girl who is hiding from the guards. This, of course, leads to the chase throughout the city, where you have to lose the guards and get the girl to safety.
Oh yes, the typical boy meets girl story. Because that's never been told before.
Quiet, you. The story itself is told through both your actions and through narration that fills in the gaps of the story.
While there is no true grinding involved, you can use areas called summon spots, which you can use to call up enemies if you feel you need to level up a bit. Leveling up is actually pretty quick and can be done in a matter of minutes instead of hours upon hours. This can actually help you get you to where you feel you need to be without taking too long and possibly losing interest.
The battle system is truly something to behold. You can have your characters attack automatically, or you can switch to a manual setting to give you more control over the attacks. Though I personally prefer the auto attacks that seem to be more accurate, you also have a gauge that when you fill up you can plan out more of the battle, as each character has a set of special moves they can use in combat. When a character casts a spell, it will leave a circle where the spell landed. As you stand in that circle, you'll reap the benefits such as adding a flame attack to your weapons.
Let's see. Zora, Assassin, Bandit. Oh, these are all interesting characters. You can also stand in circles and heal yourself.
The game has something called a magic diffusion system, which Zale has a move called Gale, which he'll use on one of the circles, and if he uses Gale on one of the magic circles, it'll pretty much cause an effect throughout the field. Like, I mean, if he uses a Gale on a heal circle, it will disperse and heal everybody on the field.
You can also do this with other attacks and stuff as well to spread the effects.
Yes.
Which is highly recommended for tougher battles.
You can also use it to sometimes diffuse enemy circles that might cause them to heal or shield them or otherwise. The game also incorporates some stealth into the battle system. With this, you can hide behind objects from which you can be obscured and do either surprise attack or shoot enemies from a distance.
Though it seems kind of weird that when running down some corridors there are places to hide despite the fact that there are no battles going on at the time. But this can also sometimes lead to an enemy around the corner that you need to sneak attack to go forward.
Boss fights themselves are truly a treat, as they all seem to have a unique way of being done. You will rarely see a boss fight that will be done the same way twice, though it does happen. Each time, though, you'll need to learn the strategy in taking them down, and it leads to a satisfying experience. There's also a large amount of customization for you to play with. Armor and weapons can be upgraded, and you can even play around with changing the colors of the character's clothing. It seems like a pointless mechanic, but you might find yourself playing with it from time to time.
So you can make your Zale or any other characters look fabulous!
The environments are very interactive. You can bump into people and signs that will cause a reaction, and for some reason you can also do this.
Okay.
So anyway, basically if you still happen to be holding on to a Nintendo Wii, you should definitely check this game out. It's one of the games that we almost didn't get here in America. It has a lot of neat stuff in it. I thought the characters were pretty interesting. They all have like a good personality. The voice acting, while
it's called character development, something games don't tend to do these days.
Every character has a backstory that you can find out about by talking to him in certain parts of the game. The story is told through like different chapters. I think there's like 44 in total. So I think it's a pretty decent game. The voice acting itself it's hit and miss. Sometimes you don't feel like the emotion in it like you would in, like, I'd say Xenoblade. I thought there was like really good voice acting. While the voice acting is good and the accents do give the game character, sometimes it just seems like points where they just weren't really trying. So other than that, it was, like I said, a pretty decent game. It's not very long for its RPG standards, but it's a fun little distraction. I think it'd be pretty good. The graphics are also pretty good for a Wii game, except when if you like get up close to the screen, it gets really blurry. But thankfully, this is only something that happens during gameplay, and it's a lot more put together when they're doing cutscenes, so it's not all that bad. And also, usually when they're doing the conversations, just like two people standing in front of the screen and having a conversation, and that's kind of the part where they sound kind of bored sometimes. Other than that, good action. Battle system, I think, is pretty good. If sometimes it holds your hand a little too much at the beginning, but eventually when you learn everything, you're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and give this game a 5 out of 6.
I'll give it a 5 out of 6. It's a good JRPG.
And I think it's a pretty good game.
Nothing I'd go back to play, but it's good enough.
And you get a new game plus, so you can go ahead and play through the game again with your beefed up stats. Although I do think they raised the level of the boss fights during consequent playthroughs, just to keep somewhat of a challenge. But I think it's one of the better games to end the saga of the Wii with. I know a lot of people might be hit. Some people might agree with that. Some people might not. The reviews on this are all over the place. But like I said, I thought it was a pretty good game. If you have a Wii, check it out, or buy it and play it on the Dolphin emulator. I don't know. This has been another episode of It's Those Guys Game Reviews. We shall see you eventually.